and it always goes live before I am aware that it's live. So I'm just going to pull up the group, make sure we're good. Okay, we are here. Hey guys, it's Tuesday, and I've got one of my long-term clients here with me. She is a total success warrior and badass, and one of my good friends at this point because we've known each other for almost a couple of years now, and we've been doing some pretty heavy and intense and personal work, and I am so freaking proud of her. And it's just all these awesome things are coming. So I feel like she has totally leveled up in these past few months, like crazy different. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about her journey and how, because I've had her here before, so you guys might recognize this cute little face next to me, and we almost look like sisters now that I'm blonde. So I hope you guys will come and join us, and let me see if I can pull these up so I can see if we get any comments. Okay, I've got this up, so if you guys are here, say hey, let us know that you're here. But I'm going to talk with Lauren today. We're going to talk about her journey, how she's created a lot of success in different areas, all areas of her life, right? Because that's what this is about, right? Like, in order for us to find true balance, we have to feel joyful, fulfilled, and genuine contentment in all of the areas of our life, right? So our health, our relationship to money, our career, and our spirituality, all of these areas work together to make a fulfilling life. And we have gone completely full circle in our time together so far. Hey, Marissa, I'm so glad that you are here. So glad that you guys are joining us. I hope you guys get some golden nuggets from this interview, and this can completely inspire you to see what you're capable of, because me and Lauren are just normal people, but we are creating a wonderful life for ourselves. Even though we came from really hard times, we came from trauma, we came from discouragement, we came from a lack of confidence, we came from so many different things, but because we persevered, because we did the work, we took responsibility, we are here now, and we're hoping that this story will inspire you and give you guys some insights on like maybe where to start for yourself. So with that being said, hey, Lauren, I'm so glad you are here.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. So can you tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, what you've kind of created for yourself? Because now we can say that, right? Now we can introduce you as like, who are you? What do you do? What do you do?
Well, I'm Lauren. I'm just a normal person like everybody else. I should say normal being. Anyway, we're all beings.
Yeah.
So I'm a Theta Reiki master, which I took Heather's course on that too. I was Reiki 1 and 2, but Theta has really changed my life with my trauma, deep trauma. Meditation coach, and I'm now a new yoga teacher and human design guide. So I basically just help you decondition all of the social conditioning that your parents had placed on you, because we all came here with pretty much as like one soul, and we are all conditioned, our design is made up of just us, who we are. So I just help you kind of decondition all of that. That's what I do with my clients anyway. That's through my human design, Align with Your Design program.
Yes, yeah. So exciting. So for those of you who might not be familiar with like human design, but and I know that I'm still pretty new with it, I don't really know exactly. She's totally the expert here. But basically it kind of helps you understand like your ego, your personality, like these different things that based on your like birth chart and like astrology, and how the world and different things affect you and how you react to it and help you handle it. So it's a really cool thing in that nature. And it's very parallel to what I do, but it's also very different. It's on a different like level, or like it's very parallel or very similar in a lot of ways, but she's got her own unique gifts. Everyone does, right? There is room for everyone, all healers, all mentors. Everyone has a unique way of doing things, and there's room for all of us here, and everyone has a sacred purpose and a sacred path, and there's room for everyone to step into their sacred purpose. And I'm so honored that I got to watch Lauren totally step into that and create so much awesome things for her, because I've been there basically every step of the way. Like, I know she did a lot of work before me, but like with our time together this past year and a half, we have like totally blown stuff out of the water, and she's like doing all kinds of stuff now. So I'm super excited for her to tell you about it. So when we first met, and I know we've talked about this in a previous interview, but just to kind of briefly remind people, when we first met, can you tell me a little bit about like where you were at with how you felt about yourself, where you were at like feeling stuck in romance, with money, your career, these important areas? Can you tell me just a little bit, remind us about where you were when we first started, when we first connected?
So where I was when we first started, was a really dark place. I hated myself. I was chasing, really toxic men, just because that's how I felt inside. So I didn't feel worthy enough. I didn't have enough self-esteem. I didn't have enough, like self-worth. I had self-worth issues. So I, always felt like if I could just be, help them, then they'll be better and then I'll be better. And realizing that I was the one that ultimately needed to heal. So I needed to take, not even realizing at the time, and I don't feel like any of us, I truly believe none of us really do want to go like treat it like selves like shit and, do all this stuff and, we're not responsible for our trauma, but we are responsible, I truly believe, for our healing. So, I feel like I needed to learn self-discipline, and I needed to, learn that I'm responsible. And I never really wanted to take responsibility because nobody showed me how to even discipline myself. So I had to learn all of that. And, boundaries too, because I didn't even know what a boundary was. Like, I had no idea. I'm sure a lot of people here probably are like, yeah, what's a boundary? I mean, I just filed for divorce and I was like, what's a boundary? Like, what are narcissistic people? Like, apparently I was part of that, so not even realizing it, that, that's what I grew up around. So that was normal to me. And now, it's not normal to me anymore. So when things are off, it triggers me to like, whoa, like this doesn't feel right. So it's nice that, my new normal is to feel safe in my body.
Yeah. I love that. And I know we've done so much work. So yeah, so just touching on that a little bit, you had a really rough relationship with yourself, not because you wanted to, but it was just because maybe you were ashamed of certain decisions you made, situations you ended up in, and you're like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Or like why am I so stupid? And I can relate to that because like I was the same way. I was like, I always put myself in shit situations, and I'm attracting all these people who are mean and are hurting me. I'm like, why am I like what's wrong with me? Like, why am I so crappy to deserve this? Right? Like, it was always like a self-blame game. And I think we can relate on that level. So tell me a little bit about where you were, because I know when we first started chatting, where you were in business is way different than where you are now. So tell me a little bit about like what was going on, because I remember that was like the initial reason we even started talking. You were like, I want to do something like you're doing, and I don't know what to do.
So I had a realization the last couple weeks, even through having a successful business now, that I must have always relied on my parents for everything, because yes, they helped me with my daughter, which, because being a single parent, it takes a village to raise a kid. I don't care who you are. You have to have help. Like, whoever it is, you obviously are fully responsible for her. But anyway, so I relied on other men, because to, run my business, or it's like, oh, they're in business, they can invest in my business, that type of thing. And I had a realization that spirit was not going to let me do that. Like it's me and only me. So I had a stable foundation. So long story short, I realized that ultimately the reason why nothing worked previously is because I wasn't always the one fully doing everything. And now I'm doing all the things I hate, because to be honest, no business owner is going to tell you they like to do everything. Like they're lying to you if they do. And I know that I just do all the things I hate. And it's because, ultimately one day I'll just be able to make content and, be able to just do what I love. But for now I realized I'm just going to have to do all the things I hate. And Heather helps me with that because she's like, nobody likes to do any of this shit. She
Yeah.
doesn't like to do any of the shit she does. Like, she's like, I do all of this stuff, you know, like you just have to do it. So yeah, I feel like that is ultimately the reason why I didn't have, again, when it goes back to self-discipline, I would always just call it procrastination or call it, you know, oh, I'm a perfectionist. And it's like, no, there was like unhealed emotions inside that I wasn't addressing. At the time, I realized it was, I needed, you know, I needed to have myself as that stable foundation.
Yeah, it was keeping you from taking on the responsibility of doing things. And you know, I think what Lauren means by there's stuff that you hate when you're a business owner is, here's the thing. I am a personal development mentor. I love talking to Lauren. I love talking to my clients. I love talking to you guys. I love messaging you guys. I love hearing from you guys in the comments. That is what lights me up. It's what gives me life. Yeah. But I'll tell you right now, there are tasks that I have to do that I'm not a fan of, like marketing, emails. I don't know. Most of you guys are on my email list. It's probably not the best. I do my best.
Yeah, like, that part I don't like to do.
I have to show up, and I'm just doing my best. There are some things about the online business space, but here's the thing. This is my second business. Before I was an online virtual coach, I was a hairdresser, and I owned my own salon. There were things that I did not enjoy about it, right? I enjoyed my clients. I enjoyed the creativity. I enjoyed doing color. I enjoyed cutting hair. I tell you right now, I did not enjoy having to be someone who managed employees. That wasn't fun. Yeah. Like, I was like, I can't get you to show up for work. Like, what is happening? You know, it's like, it was a rough experience. I didn't like doing inventory. The things that I didn't like, right? If you don't enjoy doing some of the things in your job, chances are good, if you cannot, like Lauren said, have that stable foundation within yourself to get yourself to self-discipline through it, right? Because you're never going to be motivated to track numbers or to market or to do X, Y, and Z if you don't enjoy it, if it's not your passion, right? But in the very beginning, you probably don't have a team of 10, 20 people that can take different tasks, so you can sit on your throne and do everything that you love and do nothing else. It takes years. It takes a long time. And for you to get to that point, you have to have a way to get through having to do it on your own. Most successful people, particularly the ones that are the most inspiring, came from nothing. And they came from nothing, and they showed up every day when no one else did. And that's what but they're so, like Tony Robbins, if you hear about his story, his first few events, his first few this and that, no one showed up. He didn't have a team. It was totally basic. There was nothing, right? He had no help. He was doing it all on his own. He was clueless. He had no idea, but he just kept doing it anyways, kept going out anyways, kept showing up anyways, kept disciplining. And now he's a freaking, like, the most almost well-known personal developmenter in the world. Like, and he is like literally one of the most inspiring people ever. So, and it took him 20 plus years to get there, right? That is the level of desire and determination you need to go the distance in a business as an entrepreneur. And Lauren, I'll tell you right now, you've got it, girl. And I'm just so excited. Awesome. I'm so excited.
I inspire, I don't know if anybody in the group knows Gary Vee, but I inspired to be him. Because I always say I am willing to be hated first there's tons. I mean, I have over 2,000 followers and half of them hate me, but I'm willing to be hated because those are my clients. Those are the people that will reach out to me. Those are the people that will tell me every day that I'm inspiring, but I'm not doing it to be famous. I'm doing it because I want ultimately a bigger microphone, because I feel like I have a huge message.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And that's what it is, right? That's it's not about the money.
I don't want fame.
It's about the collective and what you're doing to inspire the collective, so this can be a better place, a better planet for us and our children to live on. Yeah. Right. I know, like, that's me. That's like, I want the health of this planet, and I want the health of how I raise my daughter to be forever changed, so that I can break these generational curses within my own family lineage, and also make sure that, you know, Mother Earth, like, I have such a deep appreciation for Mother Earth that I found in my healing journey, that I want her to be so loved. She does so much for us, and I want to put that microphone out of like, this is what we've got to do. We've got to love her back. We've got to show up for her. We've got to, she takes care of us. We have to take care of her. Right. Like, so yes, yeah. I'm right there with you. It's not about who know. I could go with a mask over my head. It's not like that. It's, I want you to hear the words, and I want the words to penetrate you in such a deep way that you feel moved to make a better life for you and your baby and the people around you, so you can create that wave around the world to make a better planet. So yes, that's what I mean by a sacred purpose. It has to be sacred. It can't come from ego. Ego is not going to get you to where you want to be. It's not going to get you that fulfillment, that genuine fulfillment. It might get you somewhere.
Yeah, it'll get you a little bit. That's about it.
It can get you somewhere. It can get you a little bit. I'm not going to say the ego won't take you places, but the genuine fulfillment of feeling connected to source and to yourself, that comes from the sacred alignment. Yeah, that comes from the sacred alignment. And it's a whole, and here's the thing. If I was driven on ego and money and these things, I don't even know that I could, message people or be here or whatever. If I was like, I'm not getting paid for that. I'm not doing that, like I'm not doing any of that. Like I am too good for that, like I could not even show up the way that I show up if it was ego driven. So I don't know how people do. Like I
don't get it. It never made any sense to me. Never.
The only reason I am able to do what I do and get what I get done is because it's so sacred to me. And I could care less if you remember me, if you know me, if you pay me. I just want you to feel good. I want you to love yourself. I want you to be set on fire so that you can go and set a trailblaze and run this world like you deserve to. And I feel that same passion. Hey, Sherry. Hey, Marissa. Hey, Lakota. I'm so glad you guys are here. I hope you guys are still tuning in and you guys are enjoying so far. Marissa said yes, so true. Okay, awesome. So I know we've talked about career, we've talked about yourself. The other thing that I was interested in, because we've done this work, is your abundance mindset, your relationship to money. So where, there was so much fear there. Can you talk a little bit about what was kind of holding you back from stepping into being able to just receive and allow things to come your way, even if it's not fast, right? It's not an ego, it's not a societal thing. It's just stepping into surrender to that money and that abundance in all forms.
Yeah. So first I always thought like abundance is like money. Yeah. And then I realized a lot of the world thinks that, because I feel like that's just the dynamic that we were taught, whatever. I mean, but now it's all like, I took an inventory of, being safe in my body, having all the things like, I have a roof on my head. I'm not homeless. I can pay my car payment. I can pay, my rent or whatever, or if it's like, if you have a mortgage. And I realized that money for me, I never really had a good relationship with money and it wasn't like, I think a lot of people, I feel like when I talk to them, my clients, is when you get money, I could receive it, but then when I would go pay for things, it didn't really matter to me. Like, it's like, I didn't care about it. Like if something was $20 on Amazon, whatever, I'm just going to pay it. It was more like I needed to figure out why I didn't care about money, I think. And I didn't really look at it until I had like a huge like lesson a couple months ago of like when my cards kept like getting, hacked. And I'm like, okay, so I have no money. I have no cards. I have nothing. And it's just like, you need to figure out what you need to budget. So it was like basically budgeting. Like I never really, it's like you can look at your account and I would never want to look at my bank account. In my head, I would know how much money I had, but then I would never want to look at my bank account or if I, had invested or whatever. It's like, I didn't want to ever look at that because I would just want to spend money on Amazon or not, obviously all my bills are paid, but I guess I just didn't feel, it went back to like a self-worth issue. Like I didn't feel worthy enough for somebody to pay me thousands of dollars for a coaching course or whatever. Like, I knew that, what I had to say was worthy enough and people pay it. Like they wanted to pay it with no questions, but it's just like, it always came back to me, like of my self-worth. So working through all of that, especially your one master class, and just with my own like human design and my, like healing your money by design, I feel like all of us have that, like, it's feeling worthy enough to receive, and just that it's backed by, just working on your chakras and, that self confidence. So that has really helped me with my own money wounds. And then just feeling safe, like giving more for free, more value, I should say, to my clients to make me feel like, safer in my own body. And then them giving me feedback on like, this is amazing. Like nobody else does it. I think I said that to you I'm like, you give so much free stuff out. Like, and you had told me because that makes me feel safe. So I just adapted that with my own clients.
Yeah. Well, and every mentor that I've ever invested in, like I built a relationship on them based on what I knew about them previously.
Yeah.
Like, and that's usually because I spent some time with them in a private group, or I went to one of their events, or we chatted, directly, and I felt safe with them, right? It's all about your ability to feel safe and your ability to let go of like what other people are going to think or how it's going to go. And also, it is like a self-worth thing. It goes back to being able to feel worthy that what you have is valuable, right? What you have is valuable, but also it's such a mixture. It's a mixture of that solid relationship and confidence and worth in yourself, but also being connected to source, being connected to the sacredness of what you do. So that way you can show up even when you're not getting paid, right? Like, and it's not like I'm not worth, and it doesn't trigger you to feel worthless because you're doing something as like volunteer work or something like that. Because that's, really almost what it is. It's like, I feel like these events and these trainings and these different things that I do and advice that I try to share when asked, I feel like it is just a summation of me doing my part to help the masses, right? Because I'm only one person. I can't work with, I've got almost 2,000 people in this group. I'm one person. I can't work with all 2,000 people. There's 7 billion or 8 billion people on this planet. I can't work with that many people. But what I can do is I can do my part to put myself out there, to put certain things out there.
Right.
So yes, I love that. I love that. Was there anything about what you learned during our time together that was different from other things that you tried that made the leap capable for you?
I think it was the tangible tools. I feel like a lot of people in the coaching space, I mean, I'm friends with a lot of them, we're all in network groups together. And I feel like your program, and at least in my program, stand alone from a lot of things because everybody just does what works for them. And you do what works for the person that you're working with. Same thing with me. I don't need to figure it out. Their design is the one I'm reading them, telling them how to basically learn them. And that's what you do. I feel like that's why when you said earlier about like our programs are parallel, they are, because I've noticed that a lot of people, even some of my friends that try to get into the coaching space, they don't even really know where to start. And they're just trying to go off of, like a quote unquote school, like kind of, program. And it doesn't work like that. I feel like that old dynamic paradigm has is gone.
So there's, and I totally agree. There's totally benefits from the program they teach you at like a life coach school. Yeah. But it is, you're exactly right. It's deeper than a 12-week scripted program. It's what transformation did you actually go through and what actually helped you get there, and how can you put that in a process that's going to help others. And that's and so I love that, and I appreciate you for saying that. Like, my tools are not, it is a step-by-step process of what the individual needs. Not what I think that they should do. It's all about you and what you need, and personalized. It's so personalized to you because, I can, you guys have seen me. If you guys come to my weekly trainings, I make them general, but I simplify them down to where you can plug and play your own challenge. Now, of course, that's where I come in. If you get lost or overwhelmed or confused or get so deep, I can help, pull those curtains back and like say, hey, is this what's going on? And you're like, yeah, that's exactly it. Like one of my biggest compliments that I get as a coach is I work with a lot of ADHD people, a lot of people with emotional overwhelm. And I think one of my superpowers is being able to take like an ADHD or like a lack of focus or just like an emotional mumbo jumbo of a word vomit and put it into a sentence that makes sense. And they're just like, yeah, like that's like the best way. Like I didn't even understand what I said, but you understood it, right? I'm just like, yeah, like that's like my superpower is I can understand like emotional gibberish and confusion. It's like the funniest superpower to have, but it's also like super valuable. And I'm just like, this is perfect. But like, this is what I wanted to be able to do. And I'm so thankful that I can do it.
I think I've had a couple of those sessions when you're like, what the fuck? You mean this? Is this what you mean? Like, what's going on? Like, that's it right there.
I'm like, you're like over here.
We need to get back over here.
I'm just like, where are you going? Now, I feel like most of the time it wasn't like that, but when it started to like get to the point where like, okay, we're going to create your online business and we're going to make this happen. It was like, you're like, I'm going to do this. And I was like, no, no, not yet. No. Because I think there was like 2 sessions solid where I'm just like, Lauren.
Or it's like, you need to
download. What I said last week.
Yeah, you're just like, I told you this last week. I'm like, okay.
But hey, it's our process, right? It was unique to you. Everyone's different. Everyone's going to go through their own thing. We're all going to go through our own self-sabotage, our own fears, our own things that delay us or keep us stagnant or keep us stuck. And we have to go through that, right? Like it's meant for you. It was the way everything happened for you was meant for you. And to have a coach who can make you feel safe, who can align to you and guide you through it, and all of that stuff can be so beneficial, because what me and Lauren did in less than a year took me 3 to do on my own.
Yeah.
4 almost. 3, right at 3. It took me 3 to do on my own. And she did everything that I did in less than a year. Like literally, she is like hightailing like right behind me. She's like, oh, I see you. I know what you did. I'm gonna apply this. And she's like running up on me, and I'm like, whoa, you got here way faster than I did. Just like, oh, well, that's
and I'm not a runner, so I mean, I tried to run for like 6 months.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing, and here's the thing: you tried, you got stuck. There were so many times where we had to pivot and we had to try new things.
Yeah.
But because we were working together and we could see the challenges, we could see the roadblocks, we got over them, and boom, 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 so quickly. It didn't feel quick in the middle of it, but I swear to God, you overcame more challenges in a 2 to 3 month period than most people will overcome in 2 years of their life.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
The only thing I can say is I have a huge, resilience is the only word that comes to my mind with.
Yeah.
It's like I have to, if I feel very resilient to something, it's like I have to keep doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. I love it. And I'm so proud of you. This is awesome. I attribute your success, just like you do, to, it all goes back to, what did you need? What did you need to do for yourself? What did you need to be able to do for yourself to get you to the other side? How can you be there for yourself more? How can you love yourself more? How can you change the conditioning, change what you tell yourself that you are capable of versus what you're not, what you are worth versus what you're not, right? Every single time, every roadblock, every challenge, every area of our life, it always went back to the foundation. The foundation is you. You are the foundation that your empire will be built upon. And that is why I don't care what you want. If you are blocked in success, if there is something keeping you from being where you want to be, it's in your foundation.
Yeah.
It's in
Absolutely.
your foundation. It will always go back to your foundation. And if you don't have the awareness, the tools, the whatever you need to get back to the foundation and go in and fix what needs to be fixed, or focus on what needs to be focused on, or heal what needs to be healed, because it's deep. It's scary. It's uncomfortable as hell, I'll tell you. Every single time a challenge comes up, there is something deeper that needs to be worked on, and it's uncomfortable. And if you don't have something that's going to get you through that uncomfortability, then you will brush it to the side, and it will continue to crack the foundation, and you'll continue to try to fix the business or the relationship or the money problem or this or that and the other thing, and it's not going to get anywhere, because it's not in them, not in it's not in those things, it's in you, it's in your foundation.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm in a testament to that. Like, I am a walking testimony of that, and so is Lauren, and I'm just so beyond impressed and just so thankful to have had this experience with her. So the final question that I have you, Lauren, what might be 3 key things that you do for yourself that got you to where you are now and that keep you going?
So the first one is, I feel like I said this before, but if you're thinking about, like, 2 choices. So like, we only have one decision. We have 2 choices. Obviously it's this or that. And then you make one decision. And if you're having a struggle with making that decision, make sure when you make that one decision, it's always goes back to what's going to benefit you. So as much as people will say, oh, well, that's selfish, if your decision has to do with anybody else, it should be, and I don't like to say should be because that's a trigger word for me. It always has been, but it should be no. It automatically should be no, or I'll think about it, because you got to choose yourself always. So that's the first one. And then, yes. And then the second one is just start, because you'll never feel ready. A lot of people, I feel like all of us do it. I even do it sometimes too, that it's like, oh, I'm not ready yet. Well, you're never going to feel ready. So just do it, and then you'll be happy you did it. And then the third one is it's around self-discipline. So I feel like a lot of people think that I have all this motivation to do all this stuff. No, I don't have all the motivation's like 10 minutes, like 10 minutes of me doing something. The rest of it's self-discipline. And it's because I can see the bigger picture. Like, I can physically see the bigger picture, or I can see the bigger picture for somebody else to keep kind of pushing them along when they don't want to. So, I mean, if you could use like I guess accountability partner. So like, if that would be Heather or a friend or a family member, just like pick an accountability partner, because you're going to get stuck. You're going to get stuck because you can do a lot. We can do a lot, but like, community is huge to me. My friends and family are huge to me, because we all need that. You don't need a lot of friends, like 5 probably, because I only have 5 friends, but like, it's just, you have to have that accountability. Especially that that person's going to push you when you don't want to push yourself.
Yeah. So to put that in, we've got 1, we need to set good boundaries. We need to be clear about what we say yes to and what we say no to. Is what we are choosing to do or not do pushing us closer or further from the person we want to be in the life that we want to have? Right? I love that. Number 2 was just start. Don't wait for it to be perfect. Don't wait for it to feel good. Don't wait for it to feel whatever. It's never going to feel perfect. It's never going to be the right time. Here's the thing, and Lauren, I bet, can agree, because she gave this tip. You're never going to know how to perfect it or how to make it better or how to get it right if you don't just start to begin with.
And fail. You have to fail.
And fail, right? You have to start, right? Like, think about riding a bike. Think about riding horses. I've never rode a horse, but, like, think about things that you might, or when you were a baby and you wanted to walk, you are not going to perfect it. You're not going to get it right until you fall, until you skin your knees, until you cry, right? Like, there is going to be some uncomfortability. There's going to be some frustration. There's going to be some falling down, but that's what's going to make it work, right? That's exactly what's going to make it work. And then finally, self-discipline. Now, I want to add to this, because it's 100% true. You have to have self-discipline, but I want to add just a little bit of a bonus to this, right? What's going to get you to self-discipline? right? What's going to get you to self-discipline is how you talk to yourself when you don't want to do it. It's how you work through your excuses of why you can't or why you'll do it later, but you don't. It's how you talk to yourself through your fear or your emotional overwhelm when you don't feel like it, right? It's how you talk to yourself. Self-discipline is self-love on crack.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah.
Self-discipline is self-love on crack. It's how you talk to yourself. It's how you get through it. That is the determining factor of being able to be self-love or self-discipline. Self-discipline is not a punishment. People who punish themselves to be disciplined, it's a burnout. It doesn't last. They go back to their old patterns. It's never going to last. Self-discipline that ends up in success is self-discipline that comes from extreme self-love and compassion and nurturing.
Yeah.
I would not be where I am today if I did not love myself through doing shit I didn't want to.
Yeah, definitely.
100%. This was perfect. This was perfect. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Lauren. This is great. And I hope all of you guys really enjoyed being here with us. And I hope you guys got some really helpful tips and insights. I know we talked a little bit about like some personal that we did, but we're just being real here. We're just sharing our time, and we've gotten really close over this. So, you know, and that's beautiful. Sherry, I love your energy, wisdom, and your humor combined. Yes, thank you so much, Sherry. Yes, and we have a good time. You know, healing can be scary. It can be extremely uncomfortable. Creating success can be scary. It can be very uncomfortable, but we've got to love ourselves through it. We've got to find ways to enjoy the process, because here's the thing. If we're waiting to feel like the guru, or if we're waiting to feel like the successful Tony Robbins business leader, right? Like whatever, right? If we're waiting for that to be joyful, what the hell are we doing here? You know, like if we can't enjoy the process, if we can't enjoy the journey, it's all about finding the balance of seeking the future you want, your future self, and aligning to that person, but also just being able to stay present, to stay content with where you are, what you have, and what you're going through as you move forward. Because that's what's going to make the difference. Because here's another thing. If you're constantly stressed out about the thing that you don't have yet, you're not going to be in a state of relaxation. And in that state of relaxation comes creativity, comes inspiration, comes the downloads, comes the connection, comes the step-by-step of what to do so you can flow into it and get it, right? If you're constantly stressed out that you're not where you want to be, your digestive system and your ability to create, your ability to feel inspired and to take action, it's turned off. You're in survival mode. You're not in creation mode. You're in survival. You have to be relaxed. You have to feel joyful. You have to feel safe in order for you to create and inspire yourself to do new things and to get new ideas and just different things of that nature. So I hope this is really helpful for you guys. I love this interview. This is like so exciting. I've been waiting for weeks to get her on here to share with you guys, because I'm so proud of her and having so much fun making awesome things and doing awesome things with this girl. So I'm so glad. Yes, so many repelling energies. Energetics awareness is key. Yes, Sherry, you are right. And I will be talking with Sherry next week in her group. So I'll invite all of you guys to that. And I'm super excited to talk with Sherry. So lots of things. Oh, one last thing. If you guys are still with me hanging out, and you make it to this part, next week I've got a Success is in You masterclass. A lot of the things that we talked about here, I'm going to be giving the key points of how to create success inside of you so that you can create success everywhere else, right? Because it's not the job, it's not the boyfriend, it's not the this, the that, the other thing that's keeping you from being fulfilled. The foundation's within you. So the Success is in You masterclass is happening live, same time, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the group right here, and Women Who Create Success After Trauma next week. So if you guys want to come to that, make sure you comment masterclass, and I'll make sure you get the event link so that you guys can press going and get the notifications and the reminders for it. So it's happening this time next week. So I'm super excited to do that masterclass with you guys. I can't wait. So if you guys need anything, Sherry says it's nice to meet you, Lauren.
Oh, nice to meet you too.
So if you guys need anything, or if you guys have any questions about what, for Lauren or for us about what we talked about today, or the key tips and the tools and the strategies that we shared, if you guys want any more insights on those, please let me know in the comments. Let me know what you thought about Lauren's lovely journey. And if it was helpful, I would love to hear your guys' feedback. And I can't wait to do the Success Within You Masterclass with you guys next week. So with that being said, I'm going to sign off live here, and I will see you guys next week.